Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless why and our spoilers tease Sharon. Sharon case is in for one heck of a shocker when she learns Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn could be after her company. Sharon knows about Kane's plan to acquire Chancellor Industries, Jabot and Newman Enterprises. However, she never imagined the con man would be interested in her company. Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow informs Sharon that Kane could be looking at Cassidy first. He shares that Kane has acquired the athletic club and was looking to purchase Society. He also disclosed he has purchased buildings and land near Chancellor Industries, Jabot, and Newman Enterprises. Needless to say, this news stuns Sharon, as she begs Nick to help her protect her company. Kane's business plan shakes up Sharon. The Young and the Restless spoilers say that Sharon felt safe knowing Kane wasn't after her company. She thought he was focused on Jabot Chancellor Industries and Newman Enterprises. However, Nick drops the bombshell that he could be looking at Cassidy first, urging her to safeguard her interest. After everything Sharon has endured in the past year, Cassidy first has been a safe place for her. When her world Iowa's falling apart around her, work kept her grounded and feeling safe. Without her company, she doesn't know what she will do. She begs Nick to help keep Cassidy first safe from Kane's grasp. Kane gives a fake promise. It's likely Sharon will march up to Kane and demand to know if he is after her company. Kane doesn't like confrontation, being more comfortable with operating in the shadows. Kane will probably promise Sharon he has no interest in her company. He has bigger fish to fry. He will want Sharon to trust him, so delivering a fake promise could relieve some of her anxiety. Kane's target list. We know that Kane has several target lists. He gave Holden, Novak, Nathan Owens a list of people get to know: Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, Claire Newman, Haley, Aaron, and Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan. The Young and the Restless spoilers say that Kane's business target lists include Jabot, Chancellor Industries, and Newman Enterprises. He will likely attack the smaller divisions first, then going in for the kill on the main companies. Kane could want Cassidy first. However, he hasn't named that business as one of his interests yet. Kane could go after Cassidy first as a way to get under Nick's skin. He knows that Nick would unravel, working as hard as he could to protect Sharon's company. The sizzling summer heat in Genoa City seems to rise another few notches as the Young and the Restless heads into a seismic storyline that promises to rock not only corporate corridors but the very hearts of its beloved characters. For as the new week dawns, Sharon rose up, ever the compassionate confidant yet fiercely intelligent woman who's survived stalkers, mental health crises, and the treacherous games of Genoa City's power players, finds herself stumbling upon a revelation that could change everything, when she inadvertently overhears Kane Ashby in a clandestine conversation at Crimson Lights, the coffee shop whose cozy corners have so often been witness to life-altering secrets. And as Sharon ducks behind a pillar, mug trembling slightly in her hand, she strains to hear Kane's low, urgent voice as he speaks into his burner phone, his words clipped and chillingly precise, as he references a business plan destined to shake up Genoa City's power balance, mentioning terms like hostile acquisition, exposure, and most ominously, a name that makes Sharon nearly drop her cup in shock: Cassidy, the original name of Sharon's beloved daughter Mariah. And in that instant, the color drains from Sharon's face as her mind spins wildly. For though Mariah has built her own life as a devoted wife to Tessa and mother to baby Arya, she still bears the scars of her turbulent upbringing. And Sharon's maternal instinct surges as she realizes that whatever scheme Kane is cooking up could put her daughter directly in harm's way. And so as Kane hangs up and strides past her without noticing, Sharon slips out the back entrance, breathless and trembling, desperate to process what she's just learned, replaying Kane's words in her head like a sinister refrain, her mind leaping to the implications because she knows Kane has recently returned to Genoa City with a vengeance-fueled determination to carve out his own empire, particularly after feeling slighted and shut out of both Chancellor Winters and Newman Enterprises. And rumor has it Kane has been courting investors from shadowy international circles, including names whispered in hushed tones around the Genoa City Athletic Club, figures whose methods are less Wall Street and more underworld. And while Kane has tried to present himself publicly as a man seeking legitimate business opportunities, Sharon can't shake the feeling that he's dancing dangerously close to the edge, willing to sacrifice anyone who gets in his way, including innocent people like Mariah. And as she leaves Crimson Lights, Sharon calls Nick, her voice barely steady, asking him to meet her at the park because she can't keep this to herself. And when Nick arrives, his concern is immediate, brows knitting as Sharon explains what she overheard, and though Nick tries to calm her, suggesting that maybe Kane was speaking metaphorically, Sharon insists that the threat felt real, that the coldness in Kane's voice suggested he wasn't merely targeting business rivals but was willing to exploit personal connections, including Mariah's reputation and perhaps even the painful details of her past, to gain leverage. And Nick, though protective of Mariah as well, cautions Sharon not to jump to conclusions until they have more concrete proof, but Sharon's resolve only hardens. Determined not to let her daughter become collateral damage in another man's vendetta, and meanwhile, Kane is indeed working furiously behind the scenes, sequestered in a suite at the Grand Phoenix, where his room has become a war room, littered with blueprints, financial spreadsheets, and photographs of Mariah's face among them, and as he paces the room, he dictates instructions into a secure app on his phone, revealing that his plan involves using damaging information about Mariah's past, particularly her time working with Ian Ward and the secrets of her biological ties to Sharon and the Newmans, as a bargaining chip to force Sharon and, by extension, Nick and the Newmans, into a vulnerable position that might facilitate Kane's takeover of several strategic Newman subsidiaries. A plan so audacious and ruthless that even Kane seems momentarily troubled by the moral implications, yet his bitterness and thirst for validation keep driving him forward, especially after feeling overshadowed for years by powerhouses like Victor Newman, Devon Hamilton, and even his own mother, Jill, who despite her affection for him, has recently made it clear she doesn't trust his judgment enough to let him back into the Chancellor fold. And Kane, fueled by wounded pride, and convinced that Genoa City has underestimated him for far too long, has decided that the only way to secure his place at the top is to break the Newmans' hold on the city's power structures, even if it means targeting someone as seemingly untouchable as Mariah. And as Tuesday's episode progresses, Sharon debates whether to confront Kane directly, knowing that exposing her knowledge too soon might drive him further underground, but the thought of Mariah becoming a pawn in Kane's high-stakes game makes her blood run cold, and so she decides to seek out Christine Blair for legal counsel, hoping to quietly investigate Kane's connections without tipping her hand. But before Sharon can reach Christine, she's intercepted by Phyllis Summers, who notices her distracted demeanor and needles her with pointed questions, suspecting another secret is brewing. And though Sharon tries to brush Phyllis off, her evasiveness only fuels Phyllis's curiosity, and viewers know it's only a matter of time before Phyllis inserts herself into the drama, likely complicating matters with her own brand of chaotic determination, while at the same time, Mariah is blissfully unaware of the storm gathering around her, focused instead on balancing her responsibilities at society with her growing desire to launch a non-profit to help at-risk teens, a project that might ironically make her an even bigger target for Kane, who could exploit her connections and public image for his own gain. And as Mariah discusses her plans with Tessa over dinner, talking animatedly about securing funding and building partnerships with local businesses, Tessa notices a flicker of worry in Mariah's eyes whenever the conversation turns to the Newmans, and gently asks whether Mariah is still struggling with feeling like an outsider in a family as powerful and complicated as the Newmans, to which Mariah admits that no matter how much progress she's made, a part of her always fears that her past could come back to haunt her. And little does she know just how prophetic those words are, for even as she speaks them, Kane is reviewing a folder of documents that detail her history with Ian Ward, including transcripts, arrest records, and even sealed court documents that could shatter her reputation if leaked. And Kane confides in a mysterious associate on the phone that if he plays his cards right, he could force Mariah to help him gain insider access to Newman business dealings, either through blackmail or public scandal. And though his associate warns him that targeting Sharon's daughter is a dangerous move, likely to provoke the full wrath of Victor Newman, Kane insists that Victor has underestimated him before, and that this time, he's playing for keeps. While across town, Nick finds himself torn between his loyalty to his sister Victoria, who has her own mess with Cole, Howard brewing, and his determination to protect Mariah and Sharon. And though he's tempted to confront Kane himself, Sharon pleads with him to keep things quiet until they have evidence, knowing how quickly Victor might unleash his own brand of retaliation that could escalate into a full-blown corporate war. And amid this backdrop of tension, Christine finally meets with Sharon and listens carefully as Sharon explains what she overheard, promising to discreetly investigate Kane's financial dealings and connections to any shell corporations that might indicate he's plotting a takeover. And as Tuesday's episode closes, Sharon stands alone, outside Crimson Lights, staring into the darkened street, her reflection wavering in the glass as she vows under her breath that she will protect Mariah at any cost, no matter how dangerous the truth turns out to be, leaving viewers breathless with anticipation for what promises to be a scorching summer storyline where love, loyalty, and ruthless ambition collide on the volatile chessboard of Genoa City. Would you like this in shorter paragraphs instead of one long one? Or tailored for a specific tone, for example, darker, lighter, more dramatic? Let me know how you'd prefer it. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our YouTube channel for more update news.